Millions of Ukrainians have fled the war and sought refuge in nations to the west. One of those countries is tiny Moldova, the most impoverished nation in Europe. More than 300,000 refugees have arrived in this former Soviet republic, which has a population of just 2.9 million people. Many refugees have by now moved on, but the strain remains.
We've had a program in Moldova since 2010, and once the crisis started to happen in Ukraine, there was a greater need than ever to send volunteers there to help support. Moldova has received more refugees per capita than any other country. It's really inspiring to see what the Moldovan people are doing in response to the crisis, but they're very short-staffed. They were being overwhelmed. There's really a desperate need for volunteers. So we work with our partner in Moldova to try to mobilize volunteers from across the world to go to Moldova, mostly Chișinău, the capital, to help support all the incredible efforts that are going on to support refugees coming out. Some of them decide to stay in Moldova, some of them move on to other countries.
I'm Kendall Raymond. My son William and I volunteered in Moldova in June and July. During our time there, we worked in the kitchen. We ran errands, made beds. We did anything that was required to support our center in their efforts to do anything that they could to support the Ukrainian refugees that they were so wonderfully taken care of. William even introduced American football to some of the older boys, and that was very, very exciting to them all, and they had a wonderful time playing football. The Ukrainians were resourceful, determined, and above anything else, they were resilient. The ladies and their children who were in the center, they were hopeful for the future. That even though they had been displaced for months from their homes, their country, and they were unable to see their families and friends.
But there's a greater need than ever, particularly now with things ramping up in Ukraine. There's been a surge in refugees recently. So we'd like to be there to respond and ask for your help and your consideration in going to Moldova, acting as a volunteer, and helping to support the situation. We have opportunities from as short as a couple weeks to as long as 6 months, even a year, where you could go and make a significant difference to help out the situation.
I'm extremely grateful to United Planet for giving us the opportunity to go and work with these people, to get to know them, to build those lasting relationships that you'll surely have after you experience the kindness, the generosity, the giving nature of the Moldovan people and the Ukrainians as well. The realization of the possibilities that this unforeseen opportunity has granted us has been awe-inspiring. Volunteering in Moldova has been the most rewarding volunteer experience that I've had the privilege of, and I certainly hope that more people will see that value in helping the Moldovans care for the Ukrainians.